What is up, Posse? My name is Will Bronlick, and welcome to another edition of A Trip to the Movies. Um, excuse me, I'm going to be eating some popcorn and drinking some Cherry Coke Zero while I'm at it. So, I know I uploaded a video earlier today, but I wasn't really happy with how that one turned out, so I figured I'd try it again. So, yesterday, I saw Stephen King's It, the remake. I know this is going to be like really late coming up, but I think that before I go into this movie, I think I should also give my thoughts on like the book and the miniseries. Um, so the book I've read bits and pieces of, and from what I've read, it was actually okay. It wasn't anything I would go back to read over and over again, but I thought it was pretty good. And then this 1990 miniseries came out, which many people say doesn't hold up as well to this day. And yeah, they're kind of right. But people say that the stuff with the kids is pretty good, but the stuff with the adults, not so much. And that Tim Curry's hilarious. So yeah, that's not really anything I would go back to watch again either. Unless if I have a lot of time on my hands, because since the miniseries is like 3 hours long. Which brings us to this movie. And when I saw the trailer for it, I actually thought that it was probably going to be okay. But seeing the reviews it's been getting, I just figured, okay, I might as well give it a try. And the good news is that this movie actually does live up to the hype. It is actually really good. No, I was just overall really impressed by this. Let's see. Let's go over the good stuff first. First off, the characters. The characters are fantastic. Uh, After a little bit of time establishing them, you immediately fall in love with them. It's not like the miniseries where I'm going to make comparisons in this from the remake to the miniseries. In the miniseries, they just throw these characters at you and throw all these flashbacks, just so you can see if I think just to see if you can try to form some kind of connection with them. But in my personal opinion, it just doesn't work very well. But in the in this new movie, they actually do take their time in establishing these characters, even though this movie is over 2 hours and 15 minutes. They don't take 30 minutes to establish each character. They just introduce each one and just through some clever writing and well pacing, they are able to give us a good story arc for these good people. Which brings me to my second pro of the movie, the acting. It is phenomenal. I'm mostly talking about the main kids here. As for the adults and maybe the boys as well, they get a little awkward and silly at times. But the kids, these kids have a future, and I'm gonna get a little bit of hate for this, but I didn't know that the kid who played Richie was on Stranger Things, because honestly, I've never watched Stranger Things before. I'm gonna have to do that later on, sometime in the future. What's next? The scares are surprisingly pretty decent. There is one or two that, or couple that I kind of saw coming, but maybe one or two that actually did get me. The music was great as well. It was suspenseful, dramatic. It just kept you on the edge of your seat, It was absolutely fantastic. Um, and as far as I know, there's only two bad things about this movie, but the thing is, they're kind of big things. One would be, like I just said before, the performances for the adults and the bullies. They tend to get a little awkward. But let's talk about the star of the show, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. Now, Pennywise in this movie is both the biggest pro and the biggest con at all the same time. Let me explain. In the biggest pro, he actually looks freaking scary, like he's supposed to be in the book. But that's also where the biggest con comes in. You see, in the 1990 miniseries, the clown actually looked deceiving, and it looks like it could actually fool people into thinking it's a nice clown. This guy in this remake, you want to go anywhere near him. But Bill Skarsgård was fantastic as Pennywise. I don't know a whole lot about him. I just know just a tiny little bit. But overall, I was very satisfied with this movie, and I'm looking forward to the sequel that's coming up. Let's see, what else should I talk about? Oh yeah, my final score. I'm going to give the remake of it an 8 out of 10. Probably like a middle 8, maybe like an 8.5. So that just about does it. There may be a spoiler room coming up of it. So, until next time, see you later, Posse.